welcome back children. So today's topic will be a revision of center of mass concept. Okay, so if you are attempting NEET or JEE mains, what are the things that you have to revise, okay, before attempting numericals of center of mass. So here in the center of mass, first we begin with what is the difference between center of mass and center of gravity. Okay, how are they different from each other? Then how to locate center of mass for geometrical objects, because for geometrical objects you can remember the data, okay, where is the center of mass located. Then for a two particle system, how to locate the center of mass. Then for n particle system, okay, locating the center of mass. Then how do we evaluate center of mass for continuous objects, okay, using the formula of integration. Then velocity of center of mass, acceleration of center of mass. After that, conservation of momentum of center of mass, and some numericals which are related to conservation of momentum. So these are the main subtopics which come under the center of mass. So first let us begin with how to differentiate center of mass and center of gravity. Okay, we know center of mass is an imaginary point where the total mass of the body appears to concentrate. Okay, I repeat, how do we define the center of mass? It is an imaginary point where total mass appears to concentrate. Whereas center of gravity is an imaginary point where the total weight of the body appears to concentrate. See, it is the weight and the upper one is the mass. But as long as you are in a uniform gravitational field, that means throughout the object, if small g remains constant, okay, then center of mass and center of gravity will coincide. But if the value of g is varying, okay, so you have taken a very large height mountain, as you go to the higher altitudes, the value of g decreases. So in such a case, gravity is not uniform throughout the body. So when center of mass and center of gravity may not coincide with each other. So in which case center of mass and center of gravity will coincide? In uniform gravitational field. And regarding the characteristics of center of mass, okay, so if you recollect, so it is an imaginary point, okay, where mass may be present, may not be present. Say for example, you are taking a ring. We know location of center of mass is at the center. So at this center, we know that there is no mass present. It may lie within or outside the body. Say if I take an L-shaped lamina, where is the location of center of mass of this L-shaped lamina? Okay, along the line joining the centers. So this is the location of center of mass. See, it may be present within the body or outside the body. The whole object may perform any complicated motion, but we know center of mass will only perform what type of motion? It can only perform translational motion. And it becomes easy to analyze the motion if you look at the center of mass rather than any other particle when there is a complicated motion. So these are the basic things that you have already studied regarding the characteristics of center of mass. Now let us see how to locate center of mass for geometrical objects. Okay, so in general, for geometrical objects, center of mass coincides with its geometric center. Okay, so let us start with a metal rod. Okay, for a metal rod, where does the center of mass lie? If it is of uniform density, uniform cross-sectional area, this is the location of center of mass. Center of mass lies at the center, half of its length. Then for a square plate or a rectangular plate, square lamina or a rectangular lamina, center of mass is at the geometric center, point of intersection of diagonals. Here also the point of intersection of diagonals. For a triangular lamina, it is the centroid, okay, the point of intersection of altitudes. Centroid will give you the location of center of mass. So then if you take a circular object, that means ring, a disc, hollow sphere or a solid sphere, in all the cases center of mass is at its geometric center. Now come to a cone. Okay, if you take a conical object, right circular cone, for a cone, if it is hollow, center of mass lies at a distance h by 3 from the base. And for a solid cone, okay, whose height is h, center of mass lies at a distance h by 4 from its base. Then if a metal wire is bent in the form of a semicircle, okay, so this is a semicircle, then center of mass is located at a distance, okay, so OC equal to 2r by pi. Okay, this distance from center to the center of mass is at a distance of 2r divided by pi, where r is the radius of the ring. Then if it is a semicircular disc, okay, semicircular disc, then from center to C, this is the location of center of mass, OC distance will be 4r by 3 pi. Then for a hollow hemisphere, okay, hemispherical bowl, hollow, the location of center of mass is at a distance OC equal to r divided by 2. And for a solid hemisphere, if it is a solid, okay, then O to C distance, okay, it is lying at a distance OC equal to 3r by 8. So these formulas for geometrical objects, if you remember, then locating the center of mass for 2 objects put together or 3 objects put together becomes easy to solve. So this is regarding locating the center of mass for geometrical objects. Okay, now let us see how to locate center of mass for a 2-particle system. Okay, so look at this case. Let us suppose we have 2 particles of mass m1 and m2. Separated by a certain distance d. Okay, we know that if masses are equal, where does the center of mass lie? Exactly at center. If I increase this mass, then center of mass will be shifting towards heavier particles. I again repeat, as mass of this particle increases, the center of mass will move closer to m2. So this says that if this is the location of center of mass, the distance from m1 I will take it as d1 and this distance I will take it as d2. Since the distance of center of mass is inversely related to mass, heavier the mass, smaller is the distance. What is the relationship between m1 d1 and m2 d2? M is inversely related to d. So m1 d1 should be equal to m2 d2. More the mass, lesser is its distance of center of mass. So if you solve this and find out the value of d1 and d2, okay, you can write d2 as d minus d1 and simplify it. I will directly write the formula. d1, that means distance of center of mass from m1 is equal to m2d by m1 plus m2. So based on this formula, you can directly apply the formula and find out the location of center of mass. Then d2 is equal to, okay, this distance will be m1d by m1 plus m2. Okay, say for example, I give you 2 objects. Okay, let the masses be 5 and 10 kg. This is a 5 kg block. Here you have a 10 kg block separated by a distance of say 10 meter. So if I ask you locate the center of mass from 5 kg, I'll call this as d1. So tell me what should d1 be? m2 into d, 10 into 10 by m1 plus m2. It is 100 by 15 or 20 divided by 3 meter. Similarly, how to get the value of d2? d2 is the distance from 10 kg. m1 into d, 5 into 10 by m1 plus m2. It's 50 by 15. 10 divided by 3 meter. So this is how you can directly find the location if it is a 2-particle system. If you remember the formula, it becomes very easy. But if it is an n-particle system, okay, we know if for n-particle system, we go for Cartesian method for evaluating the center of mass. So how to get r center of mass for n particles? The position vector for center of mass of n particle system is given by the relation sigma of mi into ri where I is ranging from 1 to n, as many particles as you have, divided by sigma of mi, I taken from 1 to n. Okay, say for example, you have 4 particles at different position vectors r1, r2, r3 and r4. Then what is r center of mass given by m1 r1 plus m2 r2 and so on, as many particles as you have, divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 and so on. So this is, I am giving you a position vector. Suppose you want to find out only x coordinate or y and z coordinate separately. Still you can apply this relation. Say x center of mass is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 and so on up to mn xn divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 and so on. Okay, how to get y center of mass, y coordinate, m1 y1 plus m2 y2, as many particles as you have, divided by m1 plus m2. And z center of mass, m1 z1 plus m2 z2 divided by m1 plus m2 and so on. But this is the case where you have n particles present. But if it is a continuous object, then the number of particles becomes infinite. So in such a case, you can change this summation to integration. Okay, I'll write for continuous objects. How do we find out x center of mass? Integral of x into dm by integral of dm. Okay, we need to use integration method if it is a continuous object. So this is how you can, similarly you can write for y center of mass and z center of mass also. So let us look into some applications, okay, to understand these formulas. Okay, so look at some examples. So you have 3 particles, okay, arranged as shown in the figure. Masses may be given, say m1, m2 and m3. Okay, this is 5 kg, 4 kg, and I'll take this as 1 kg. Located at the vertices of a right angled triangle. Okay, so the distance is, I'll take it as 5, 3 and 4. Now you have to find the location of center of mass for a 3 particle system. Okay, for this 3 particle system, say from M1. Okay, that means I am taking M1 as the location of origin. So if I select this as origin, this will be your x-axis. This is your y-axis. Write the coordinates. This will be 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 4. It's a 2-dimensional arrangement. Now how to locate x center of mass for a 3 particle system, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 by m1 plus m2 plus m3. So use it, try to write it directly. 1 into 0, m1 x1, m2 x2, 4 into 3 plus m3 x3, 5 into 0 by m1 plus m2 plus m3, that is 10. So x location is 12 by 10 or 5 by 6 meter from origin. Similarly, locate y center of mass. How to locate the y center of mass? m1 y1, 1 into 0, 0, 4 into 0 plus 5 into 4, 20 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3, that is 10. So it is 2 meter. So did we get the location of center of mass? So from origin, x is 5 by 6 and y is equal to 2 meter. Okay, so somewhere at this particular point you can locate the position of center of mass. So this is how you can determine, and sometimes they may even ask you, find the distance of center of mass from origin. How to locate the distance of center of mass? Now that you have got the coordinates, you can directly find the distance. xi plus yj. 5 by 6 I cap plus 2 j cap. If magnitude is required, square root of x square plus y square. X center of mass square, y center of mass square will give you the magnitude or distance of center of mass from origin. So this is for how many particle system? For a 3 particle system. Okay. Sometimes you may be given a continuous object and you are asked to locate the position of center of mass. Okay, so this is a very often given question. A T-shaped object, 2-dimensional. Okay, its dimensions are given. Okay, some dimensions. Okay, I'll take it as 4 and 2. Okay, so this I'll take it as 8 meter and 2 meter. So for this type of object which is made up of same material, a T-shaped lamina, if they ask you to locate the center of mass from any reference point, okay, say I want center of mass from the point O, then how to locate the center of mass? First project the axis. Okay, I am taking this point as origin. So for this block, center of mass is somewhere here. And for this horizontal block, this is the location of center of mass. Try to write the coordinates. Both of them are on y-axis. This is 0, comma, distance. Height is 8 meters, so half of that will be 4. So from origin till here, what is this coordinate? 0, comma, 8 plus 1, 9. Okay, all are in meters. So did we first locate the center of mass of individual pieces, one vertical and one horizontal. Now I need the mass. Okay, so since it's made up of the same material, M1 is equal to density into area. I am taking the linear areal density. Even if you take thickness, doesn't matter. Okay, I am writing mass as density into area. What is the area of this lamina? 8 into 2, 16 into thickness. Similarly, M2 is equal to, okay, density of the material into its volume. Volume I am writing area into thickness, area of a square, side length into breadth, 4 into 2, 8, and let the thickness be T. Okay, it's a uniform, thickness is uniform for both the objects. So you know M1 and M2, X1, Y1, X2 and Y2. Anyway, X1 and X2 are 0, so your X coordinate of center of mass will anyway come out to be 0. Locate Y center of mass. What is Y center of mass? Equal to M1 Y1 plus M2 Y2 divided by M1 plus M2. So anyway, rho and T are present in numerator and denominator. I am directly writing it. M1 Y1. So rho into 16 into T into 4 plus M2 Y2. Rho into 8 T into 9 whole divided by M1 plus M2. If you take out rho and T common, 16 plus 8. Rho and T are present in numerator and denominator. So what is your Y center of mass coming out to be? 16 fours. 64 plus 8 nines. 72 divided by 16 plus 8. 24. Simplify it. Okay, so this is how you can get the location of center of mass. So if two objects are given, then you can go and proceed in this particular way. Look at one more question. So they may give you a square plate, a square lamina. Okay, so whose side is 2 meter. And on top of it, we are putting a semicircular disc. Okay, so and its radius is also 1 meter. Okay, so one is a square lamina. On top of it, you have kept one semicircular disc which is made up of same material. So locate the center of mass of these two objects from the point O. Okay, so let this be having a density rho, the same density this is going to have. First let us write the masses. What is the mass of this square plate? Density into area into thickness. 2 into 2, 4 into T. Okay, density into volume. I have written volume as area of surface area into thickness. Similarly, write the mass of this object, semicircular disc. Density, area, pi r square by 2. R is anyway 1. Into thickness. Did we get M1 and M2? So you know M1 and M2. Now write the coordinates. See, if I am taking this as origin, it depends on the question. If they ask you to locate it from here, take this as origin. I am asking you to locate the center of mass from the center of the square. So if I take this as origin, where is the location of center of mass of the disc? We know it is at a distance 4r by 3 pi. Okay, so for a semicircular disc, just now I gave you the formula. From this point to this point, it is 4r by 3 pi. And from here to here, it is half the side of the square. That is 1 meter. R is also 1. 1 plus 4r by 3 pi. So the coordinate will be 0, 1 plus 4 by 3 pi. See, we have got x1, y1, x2, y2, m1 and m2. Both are again on the same straight line. So x center of mass will anyway be 0. calculate the y center of mass. I am not using rho and t, anyway it gets cancelled. m1 y1 1 into 0, m2 y2. So rho pi by 2 into t multiplied with 1 plus 4 by 3 pi. 1 plus 4 by 3 pi whole divided by m1 plus m2. Take out rho into t common. This is 4 plus pi by 2. So rho and t will anyway get cancelled. So what will be your answer for y center of mass from this particular point? Okay, so y center of mass is equal to pi by 2 into 1 plus 4 by 3 pi divided by 4 plus pi by 2. Okay, if you want you can take LCM and simplify. Remove this 2, 4 2 is 8. It will be pi into 1 plus 4 by 3 pi divided by 8 plus pi. So this is the method of evaluating the center of mass when two objects are given and you have to locate the position of center of mass. Now let us take 3 lamina and then how to locate the center of mass. Now look at one more question. It's a one-dimensional object for continuous mass. How to locate the center of mass. Okay, so there is a body, a metal rod whose length is L, but its linear density is varying according to the equation, say A plus bx square by 2. Some equation will be given, you just take whatever the equation is. Okay, so since it's a one-dimensional body, for this object, locate the center of mass from 0, 0. So now to locate the center of mass, I'll be using integration. So since lambda is A plus bx square by 2, we know lambda is mass per unit length. So if you take a small element of length dx, one dimensional, lambda is dm by dx. What is it equal to? 8 plus bx square by 2, or dm is equal to 8 plus bx square by 2 into dx. Okay, you know the value of dm. Now what is the formula for evaluating x center of mass? Integral x into dm by integral of dm. Limits are from 0 to L. 0 to L. Substitute the value of dm here. So x center of mass will be integral of x into dm, x into this term. So ax plus bx cube by 2 into dx. I have multiplied with x throughout, divided by integral of a plus bx square by 2 into dx. Of course, limits are from 0 to L and 0 to L. Okay, now I think you can integrate and find out the location. Let me continue. X center of mass is equal to integral of ax is ax square by 2 plus b by 2 into integral of x cube is x to the power 4 by 4 divided by integral of a into dx is ax. Integral of bx square by 2, b by 2 is a constant. Integral of x square, x cube by 3. What are the limits? 0 to L, 0 to L. Okay, from here we are locating the position of center of mass. So put the upper limit minus lower limit. What will this come out to be after simplification? Okay, I am leaving the fraction as it is. AL square by 2 plus BL to the power 4 by 8 divided by AL plus BL cube by 6. Okay, if you want you can remove one L. L is common in numerator and denominator. So further simplification I am leaving it to you. So this is how for one dimensional objects you can find out the location of center of mass by using this integration relation. Okay, now coming to the next model. Okay, how to locate the location of center of mass or displacement of center of mass when you remove some mass from a continuous object. Okay, so sometimes you may get a question like this. Say from a circular disc. Okay, we are going to remove this part. Okay, so from a continuous disc, a small circular portion is removed from the periphery. What is the shift in center of mass, or locate where is the new position of center of mass? Or they may ask you a question this way. From a square lamina, Okay, this is a square lamina. Okay, if it is divided into 4 parts, if this portion is removed, what is the displacement of center of mass? So for solving this type of questions, okay, so we'll be using one small logical method. Okay, look at the method. See, we know that for n particle system, what is our center of mass given as? It is sigma of mi into ri by sigma of m. If I take the location of center of mass, say for this complete object, this is the location of center of mass. If I take this point as origin, that means our center of mass is origin, then what will this equation become? 0 is equal to sigma mi r. So this term I am going to make use of to get the answer in minimum number of steps. Okay, generally coordinate system method also can be used, but this one will give you the answer quickly. If you want to find out the shift of center of mass, you can go for this method. So this is called sigma of m into I. That means m1r1 plus m2r2, as many particles as you have. This sum has to become 0 if you have taken the location of center of mass as origin. So we call this as the mass moment. Sum of mass moments taken about the center of mass is always 0. So let me see how to use this property and find out the displacement of center of mass. Okay, so look at the first question. There is a circular disc whose radius is capital R, and from this we are going to remove one circular disc whose diameter is capital R from the periphery. That means this part we are going to remove. Then they will ask you what is the shift in the location of center of mass, by what distance did it shift. So to get that, just now I told you, for the complete object take this as origin. Okay, for the whole object before removing, if I use this as the center, that point is taken as origin. The mass which you are going to remove, I will call this as m1, and the remaining mass I am calling it as m2. So you can write m2 as total mass minus m1. Okay, it's a 2 particle system now. This is the mass what I am going to remove. I am naming it as m1, and the remaining mass I am writing it as m minus m1. How to get the value of m1? Okay, we know m1 is equal to, okay, if it is of same density, density into surface area, 2 dimensional. Okay, so density is rho. What is the area of this smaller circular disc? Pi r square by 2. Because its radius is r by 2, I am writing it as pi into r square divided by 2. And rho and pi are anyway constants. It's r square divided by 4. Now what is the remaining mass, tell me? Total mass. Okay, how to write the total mass? Density into surface area minus m1, density into area of this, 1 minus 1 by 4. This will be 3 by 4 rho into pi r square. Okay, rho into pi r square will be common in both the terms. So this is 1/4 of the mass, remaining part is 3/4 of the total mass. Now I will use this condition. Sigma mi ri should be equal to 0. So m1 r1 plus m2 r2 must be equal to 0. You know what are m1 and m2. What are r1 and r2? R1 is the distance of center of mass of this mass m1. Okay, I will call this as r1. R2 is the distance of center of mass of the remaining portion. See, for the remaining portion, let this be the location of center of mass. This is what we have to find. I will call this as r2. So m1 r1, remaining mass is m2, this distance is r2. R2 itself gives you what distance the center of mass has shifted. Sum should always be 0. Substitute the values. Since rho pi r square is common, I will not write rho into pi r square. m1, 1 by 4 into this distance is r by 2 plus m2, 3 by 4 rho pi r square will anyway go to 0 into this distance, r2 should be equal to 0, or r by 8 is minus 3 r2 by 4. 4 goes 2 times. What is r2 coming out to be? Minus r by 6. So where is the location of this new center of mass from the center of the circle, center of the circular disc, it is shifted by a distance minus r by 6. Minus shows it went back by a distance equal to r by 6. But this is the case when a two-dimensional object is given. The same question if it is three-dimensional, when you are writing the mass, it is density into volume. Okay, because your thickness is same, area, surface area into thickness, we have got this relation. If it is a three-dimensional object, I will write density into volume. Okay, let us check with a sphere, one question. Okay, now let us solve it for a sphere. Okay, from a sphere of radius capital R, if you remove a smaller sphere from the periphery whose radius is r by 2, then locate the shifting center of mass of the remaining portion, or locate the position of center of mass of the remaining portion. So for that, first take the center of mass of the whole object as origin. This is selected as 0, 0. The mass what you are removing, I will write it as m1. The remaining mass is m2. Okay, we know m2 is m minus m1. Okay, tell me how to get the values of m1 and m2. m1, density into, because it's three-dimensional, I have to write the volume. Volume of a sphere, 4 by 3 pi, radius is r by 2, whole cube, because this one has a radius r by 2. So what is m1 equal to? The rho 4 by 3 pi r cube into 1 by 8. See, rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube is the total mass of the whole sphere. If the removed mass is 1/8, remaining mass will be how much? 1 minus 1 by 8. Can I write it as 7 by 8 times of rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, total mass is rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube minus m1. Okay, I have written it right directly. Anyway, these are all going to get cancelled, becomes 0. Only remember the fraction, 7 by 8 and 1 by 8. So from origin till this center, if I call this as R1, the remaining mass as a center C2, let this distance be R2. We need to calculate the distance R2. Because all of them are lying on the same straight line, I can directly write M1 R1 plus M2 R2 should be 0. M1 R1. M1 is proportional to 1 by 8. R1 R by 2 plus M2 remaining mass 7 by 8. This distance R2 should be 0. So what is R2 coming out to be? 7 by 8 R2 is R by 2 into 8. Cancel up this 8 with minus sign, implies that the shift in center of mass in the opposite direction, R2 is equal to minus R by 14. So it has shifted back by a distance R by 14. But in these two questions, whatever I have told you, okay, we were removing only one surface. Sometimes they may give you two circular regions are being removed. Okay, in such a case, how will you solve the question? Okay, let us look into one example. Okay, look at this example. There is a sphere, or let us take a disc whose radius is capital R. So from this we are going to remove two circular regions of radius R by 3, one from here and this is having a radius R by 3. Okay, instead of one mass I am removing two masses. One is along x and one is along y. What is the rule? Consider this as 0, 0. For this mass I will write the mass as m1, this as m2, remaining mass as m3. Okay, after removing whatever is left out, I will write it as m3. Okay, first let us find out m1, m2 and m3. m1 is density into surface area pi into r by 3 whole square. Because it's two dimensional, I am writing area into thickness. Okay, volume is area into thickness. m2 rho pi r by 3 whole square into thickness. What will be m3? Total mass minus these two. Okay, if I write the total mass as capital M minus m1 minus m2. So total mass is rho into pi r square into t minus, both are same, 2 times of rho into pi r square into t divided by 9. So what is the mass remaining m3 is equal to rho pi r square t, if you write, take out common, it is 1 minus 2 by 9. Nothing but 7 by 9 times of rho pi r square t. See, we have got m1, m2 and m3. Now I need the distance. From origin till here, I will call this as r1. From origin to this point, I will take it as r2. And we don't know where is the distance r3. I am assuming it to be somewhere here. Anything you can take. Let the distance of the center of mass of the remaining portion be r3 from origin. Now I will write the vector form for r1 and r2. Tell me how to write the vector for r1. What is the coordinate here? If the total distance is r, this is r by 3. This distance will be 2r by 3. So 2r by 3 is the x coordinate, y coordinate is 0. Similarly r2, this is r2. Tell me the coordinates, it's on y axis. X component is 0. Y component is at a distance 2r by 3, j cap. See, we have got r1 and r2 in vector form. We know m1, m2 as well as m3. We need to find out the shift in center of mass, that is r3. So take the moments, sigma mr equal to 0, moments of mass. Sigma m1 m into r must be 0. m1 r1 plus m2 r2 plus m3 r3 should be 0. m1, okay, I will only take the fraction 1 by 9, because anyway that rho pi r square t gets cancelled. So 1 by 9 into r1. What is r1? 2r by 3 I cap plus 1 by 9 into 2r by 3 j cap plus 7 by 9 into vector r3 should be 0. Anyway, this 9 will go to 0. So 2r by 3 I cap plus 2r by 3 j cap is minus 7 r3 vector. See, did we get the r3 vector now? r3 is equal to minus of 2r by 7 3's 21 I cap plus 2r by 21 j cap. So x and y both coordinates are negative. So where is the location? From origin, if this is your coordinate system, it is in the third quadrant. Okay, so where x distance is 2r by 21, y is also 2r by 21. So if you know x and y, you can find out its magnitude. If magnitude is asked, you can find the magnitude of this vector. It will be 2r by 21 root 2. So this is how you can find it even if two particles are removed. But when one particle is removed, only x component we have calculated. If they are removing more than one masses, then use the vector form so that you don't go wrong in making any calculation.